As I'm happy to be talking to you today, and this is so exciting. Divine guidance is very important. I think you'd remember over the past 2 weeks, we've been talking about purpose. We've been talking about, the destiny that a person has. So you may have your dreams, right? But it's important to understand your purpose as a business person, as a as just a human being. What are you there for? What do you want? What kind of impact do you want to make before you leave this planet? So I think that's where it all comes from. And now when you look at your purpose, you find that for most of us, depending on the denomination, on the faith that you have, whether you're Muslim, whether you're Christian, it's important then to put, like in my case, I'm a Christian, it's important then to put God first with regards to the things that I do. And I know it is from God where my purpose is derived. When God created me, he had a purpose to say, okay, Stephen, this is what I would like you to do. This is the kind of impact that I would want you to make as an individual. So it is from that perspective that you find that the things that I do, I know my purpose, I'm in business, but I also believe that my purpose is to empower other people with the knowledge, with the skills that I have, with all the ideas that I have, so that in the end, we are able to harvest on that knowledge and to grow in many numbers.
So I'm just thinking, when you look at even hiring expertise, which you've spoken about, that your team is equally important. Isn't that you exercising that wisdom that guides the business?
Yes, it's important. I would say the way I take it practically is this. Your purpose is derived partly from you, your dreams, you have your ambitions, but it's God who guides you. It's God who makes sure that the things that you would like to do succeed. But there's a lot of effort that as an individual you should put. There are deliberate steps that you should take, like learning, like improving yourself, like creating networks, like mentorship, like making sure that you plan your things, and the things that you do, you go on to execute. So it's that aspect which is very important, because for some, I think you have seen many debatable instances where people believe in miracles, where you believe if I look at this car, I say I want this car, tomorrow I'll have it. If I look at this thing, if I just say with my word I want it, the next day I'll have it. So you'll find that practically things do not work like that. As a people, we should be prepared to work. We should be prepared to put our hands to the things that we would like to achieve in the end, so that we are practical in our approach of divine guidance, in helping us achieve our success.
So as we're talking this morning, I'm still reaching out to you, trying to understand a little bit more about how you process the idea of trusting divine guidance in your decision making, in you wanting to, get further in your life, right? Most of us believe in a higher power. Most of us will probably connect with being a Christian. Yeah, for me, it's like it's a fascinating philosophy here. So we want to learn how that higher power directs us, and how we can appreciate its role in you expanding your business. So if you are subscribing to that, do get in touch with me. I want to understand how you process the idea of a higher power. Dr. Dagmar Mvura will be talking in a second about trusting divine guidance for business expansion as well as your prosperity. And just now you're hearing the voice of Stephen Chikozho, who also was putting his 2 cents in how he understands the whole process of how he understands the whole idea of trusting your divine, your whatever your source of divinity is. So hearing God's voice, though, Stephen, cannot be an easy thing. I know we've read stories in the Bible. And by the way, we're also live on Facebook, on our Facebook page, as we always are when we come to Big Business Pep Talk. I'm just thinking, you know, when we read the Bible, you hear stories of a burning bush. I promise you, if I see a bush talking and it's burning, I'm going to run for my life. I'm not going to sit there and be like, thank you, Jesus. You know, it's quite a scary ordeal. But being able to hear God's voice in 2024, is it always that simple and easy when we're looking for guidance and trust? Here you are, you've got a business deal that's looming, a decision that you need to make, and you are trusting that that divinity, that divine voice will give you direction.
Okay, I will say this. It's important to put prayer to the things that you would like to achieve. You can write your plan down. You can pray about it. You can request for the Lord to look after your vision, to say, I want to do this, my Lord, and this is where I want you to come in. But I will say there are certain elements, because I was talking about learning, you know, and you find that in business, there are opportunities that you come across. Opportunities that we come across, even the people that do not pray, they still come across those opportunities sometimes. Even those that pray, they still come across those opportunities sometimes. There are a lot of things as an individual you should put in order to make sure that the opportunities that you take advantage of are something that you can eventually succeed on. And I have 5 things that I would like to talk about.
All right.
Despite the fact that you will be going in prayer, you will be looking at your vision and saying, this is what I want to achieve. And these things, they are more related to how you can execute and achieve the things that you want to achieve. You should be able to answer these questions when you look at your opportunities and the potential that those opportunities have. You should be able to say, does it solve a customer pain point? Or what kind of solutions does it give to the customer? Then number 2, does it provide a new product, service, or market? So you find that in the market that we have these days, Takambo Taura last time, where we were talking about Zimbabwe, when something comes up, everyone goes for that. And now you have to look at your product or your service. Does it really provide a sustainable market? Then 3rd, does it build on a competency already in your business or in yourself? So tatichitaura nyaya yepurpose, we're talking about purpose, we're talking about, you know, the skills that you already have and the need for continuous learning. So when you want to expand your business, you trust in divine guidance, but you also have to look at yourself, do some reflection on yourself. Kuti, do I have the skills within me already that can help me achieve the business opportunity that I would like to, you know, to go into? Or the skills may not be within you, but within the team that you have. If you have a company, then that gives you an edge. Then number 4, does it have the potential to be profitable? I was saying earlier on, trusting in divine guidance does not necessarily mean kuti muno you should believe in miracles. And you say, I want to do this. If I pray, then it should be happening the way that I have asked God to answer it to. There are things that you should do as well as a person to analyze the market trends, to be able to look at the potential profitability of that market. Last year we were talking about this statement that says there could be a gap in the market, but is there a market in the gap? You know, I will repeat that again to say there could be a gap in the market, or not pan a gap in market, but is there a market in the gap. In the second statement, now we are trying to look at profitability. Is there profitability in that gap? Yeah. So number 5, does it fit your personal drivers and needs? You know, the journey of entrepreneurship is very difficult. It's not an easy one for many. People in business will tell you that. There are good days where you celebrate your milestones, where you have quick wins, where you have strategic wins. But there are also hard days where things get really tough, and it comes to your mindset to say, okay, are you able to continue? Are you able to pray to the Lord to say, all right, Lord, I'm going through these hardships, but help me keep moving on? How is your mindset? Are you able to continue even in the hardest times? So try to make sure that the venture that you go into is also aligned to your personal drivers and needs, because when the hardest time comes, you'll be able to have that positive mindset that will take you further.
And vazhinji vedu chisinganezi ndechongoti aiwa kana kwangu wauti pane zviri kuitika zvinenge zviri kuita tose tomhanyira ipapo tamasvosve namapeti namakozho tinoda kusvika ipapa tichida kudla kuti whatever it is that we're hearing. But I love what you said. You said it's not just a question of saying there's a gap in the market, but is there a market in the gap? And is there potential for your business to be profitable? Does it build competency? And the first 2 were?
In terms of your personal goals as well, it's also important. You know, there are certain instances where we say, if you do something that you like, it doesn't look like work. Yeah, so there is that motivation within you that makes it appear it's not like working. Apart from the competencies.
How much you would love that, to be able to go to work and not it feel like it's work, because you love it, because you enjoy it, you're problem solving. Oh, how much I would love that. All right, so it's 9:30 now. We are about to cross over. I'm calling it a crossover, but it really isn't. Dr. Doug Mamvura and I sat down on Wednesday before he boarded his flight to Dubai, and we're talking a little bit more about this idea of seeking guidance, trusting divine guidance in the prosperity of your business. And this is what Dr. Doug had to say on this subject. Take a listen to this. Of our favorite business show that makes sure that you as an entrepreneur are building something that is sustainable, that's scalable, something that you can leave for your children. Every single Monday, we open up our Crunch show talking all things to do with big business. For the last 2 weeks, we've been having our marketing guru in Zimbabwe. He is one whose reputation in business strategy, brand building, as well as leadership has been truly outstanding. And if you thought Doug Mamvura for a second, you're quite right. He is certainly back in the building today. And today we are talking about something that even I am still trying to wrap my head around. Something that you, being a believer, probably do believe and subscribe in. But for me, I'm still trying to understand it a little bit more. And many thanks again to Stephen Chikozho, the Marketing Director of Creative Urban Agency, who makes it possible for us to have these conversations as he connects us with some of the most outstanding voices that are out there in as far as business is concerned. Now, today, we want to talk about trusting divine guidance for your business, especially if you're trying to expand, especially if you're trying to succeed. And what exactly does that mean? Perhaps the first question I want to ask you is, what exactly do you believe in? Do you believe that there is someone or something out there that truly can guide you as you are trying to navigate yourself and in business? Well, we thought we'd ask he who is already outstanding in business, who's been doing this for a while, to try and understand a little bit more about divine guidance in as far as business is concerned, as far as expansion and prosperity is concerned. And that's Dr. Doug Mamvura, who's in the building. Dr. Doug, good morning. Welcome to Capital.
Good morning to you, FoLake, and good morning to our listeners.
So, for me, this topic is quite interesting. Trusting divine guidance for business, expansion, and prosperity. Now, I know for the last few weeks we've been talking, particularly when we started off looking at Christ-centeredness in our business, and you were highlighting how we should understand our why. When we say we are looking for God's guidance and His wisdom in our business, what exactly do we mean? Because I'd always thought God made us perfectly able within ourselves to make decisions. But it seems that's not always the case. Or is that the case?
Well, obviously God gave us everything that we require in order for us to fulfill His purpose on this planet Earth. I feel like that's number one. However, it is very important for every individual to understand what their purpose is. And once they've done that, you then align whatever you're doing with God's purpose for your life. The moment you also do that, it means that you are now at the center of God's will, and you can never go wrong when you're in that position. So that is very critical. So the first thing is for you to acknowledge the fact that, you know what, you were created for a purpose. You didn't just woke up in a maternity ward one day and found yourself on planet Earth. God created you for a purpose. It doesn't matter how you found yourself on this planet Earth, but God had a purpose for you. That's why in the book of Jeremiah, God says to Jeremiah, before you were even formed in your mother's womb, I knew you. You see, so God knows each and every one of us, and He's got a clear purpose that we are supposed to fulfill on this planet.
Got you. Now, there's also some studies that have, typically we always thought there's some people who are entrepreneurs and the rest are either doctors, mathematicians, or whatever. But now there seems to be an awareness that actually there's a little bit of an entrepreneur in all of us. Do you agree with that? Do you think every single one of us can actually be an entrepreneur?
Oh, yes, definitely. Even as a doctor, you know, you have to run your practice like you're running a business. Even lawyers, whatever profession it is. You know, I always used to joke with my kids. They thought, you know, whenever I used to encourage them to start business, they thought I just wanted them to become marketers. But I was just trying to show them that, you know what, whatever you do, you really have to run it almost like a business, whatever you do. Yeah, so you can't run away from that.
Okay, got you. Let's talk a little bit more about trusting divine guidance for business expansion and prosperity. In your mind, what is to seek divine guidance?
Well, it comes as a result of realizing the fact that, you know what, as individuals, we always come to the end of ourselves. We are limited in our thinking. We are limited in our capacity as individuals. And God knows that. Now, when you become a believer, you become a new creature, a new creation. And the Bible talks about the fact that, you know, you have a mind of Christ. Now, that's 1 Corinthians 2:16. Now, when you use that mind, you are not using your own mind. You are not looking at the environment, you know, using just the natural eye, but you are using the eye of faith. You know, that's why the Bible talks about, you know, we don't move by sight, but we move by faith. So when we are now considering the issue of divine guidance, you are saying, God, like His word says in Psalms 24 from verse 1 to 2, that this earth is the Lord's and the fullness of it, you know, and that also includes us who dwell on this planet Earth. So you are now saying, God, you are the one who created me. You are the one who created this whole universe. I need you to help me to navigate so that I can fulfill the purpose for which you created me. So you can't just do your own thing, you know, FoLake, because normally they say there's a way, even the Bible says that there's a way that looks very, very good. Eh? I'm just paraphrasing, but at the end it leads to death. Yeah. So that's why you need that divine guidance. You want God to walk with you so that He can give you direction in terms of what you want to achieve.
So how do you balance this faith and foolishness? I mean, faith has had us talking to burning bushes.
Right.
It's had us walking on water.
Right.
It's heard us